Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host, Saieed. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight, viewers. So we have a lot to talk about Trinidad and Tobago that happened today. But first, I want to give you a little update that's happening in Trinidad and Tobago. The breakfast shed vendors have again been instructed to vacate the waterfront property by April 30th, according to their financial advisor, Robert LaHunt.
They could have find a solution to the problem because these bills that they say that we are owing us is concerning from years ago, prior to before the tenants who are here occupying the property, because they are not willing to meet with us. Mr. LaHunt sent out several phone calls, several letters. He even suggested solutions where we could try to do something in order to try to meet the requirements to at least start paying off these bills that had nothing to do with the tenants that are here prior, but we are not getting any response from them. It is going to affect greatly because, remember, investments were made, we purchased equipment, you hire staff. They are on the breadline at the moment when here is closed, right? You see how things are going now with respect to the downturn of the economy. Things are getting harder.
LaHunt described the latest development as unfortunate, as a high-handed treatment of small business in Trinidad and Tobago. LaHunt confirmed that vendors were given an eviction letter by the Urban Development Corporation of Trinidad and Tobago, UDCOT.
And I make this special plea to the senses of the members of the board of UDCOT to come to the table, come to the plate, and let us have the kind of conversation that will save the jobs of these people. Because it have workers working there and the owners too.
It has been stated repeatedly that UDCOT used the wrong classification for electricity, leading to the breakfast shed paying in excess of over $2 million over the years. This has not been refuted by the corporation to date. The group, Friends of the Breakfast Shed, continues to state that calls for a meeting have been ignored.
Because if you attach the wrong rates to me, and that is recognized, what is the reluctance in engaging the breakfast shed friends to find an amicable resolution? There can be no excuse for not acknowledging a letter. There can be no excuse for not having the kind of conversation and dialogue, because social dialogue is what drives any country. And I'm offering that too. If you want us to be the conciliator or the mediator, we are prepared to offer ourselves in the interest of continuing a history and a glorious legacy that must not be allowed to close down because we're talking about money. Hotels who had problems, companies who had problems, government went in and spend much more dollars, millions of dollars, to pull them out. To the Honorable Prime Minister, to the Minister of Labour, to intervene, because there is a solution for matters of this nature.
So viewers, 1 minute is safe for them to go in and work. Next minute, they had to leave the property. What is really taking place with the breakfast shed? What is really taking place? 1 minute they close down, 1 minute you come back, 1 minute you get eviction letter. It's all sorts of things, UDCOT needs to come out and clear the air on certain things. Another update for you viewers. Despite calls for consultation on TNT's push to join the Latin America trade bloc, the trade minister, Satyakama Maharaj, said he sees no need. The Trinidad and Tobago Manufacturers Association has expressed that the move could place the local manufacturing sector in a disadvantageous position. So Trinidad and Tobago, listen to this now.
Listen, in business, you're going to deal with the hand you're dealt with. If that's what we have, that's what we have. But we can compete worldwide with anyone. I have no fear in competing with anybody in Latin America or the Caribbean. In fact, anywhere in the world, I have no fear.
Do you all intend to meet with stakeholders for consultations?
I'm not sure if we need what consultation we need. We are opening markets for our manufacturers. That's what we need.
We'll be right back.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com. When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery. Connect with us on social media and don't miss the latest updates. Follow us on Instagram at RealTalk_Newsroom. Check us out on Facebook at Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Real Talk Trinidad and TikTok at Real Talk with Saieed Ali.
Welcome to Real Talk Financing and Investment, a place where your loans are guaranteed and you're rewarded with up to 5% upfront interest on your deposit. Why wait when you can invest with us today and reap the benefits? Speak with a representative at our central branch at 238-6716, 231-6219, or 339-1670, or our south branch at 242-9944, 241-0543, or 339-1670. Real Talk Financing and Investment. Investment company just for you, for you, for you, for you.
Welcome back.
This has been long overdue, where the words of Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander, as he delivers remarks at the launch of Trinidad and Tobago Online Arrival and Departure Card, the ADC system, on Wednesday, March 11th, 2026. The launch of the new digital platform forms part of the effort to modernize border management and streamline travel procedures for people entering and leaving the country.
This has been long overdue. We have been left behind, somewhat primitively. But today is a new day. In fact, when you had paper-based situations to fill out, that was an era then. That era has come and gone.
The Ministry of Homeland Security officially launched Trinidad and Tobago's online arrival departure card or ADC platform on Wednesday. The new digital system will replace the paper-based forms travelers are required to complete when entering or leaving the country. Minister of Homeland Security Roger Alexander said the online platform will make the border crossing process faster and more efficient.
Passengers will simply complete the online forms, upload to the biodata page of their passport, and receive a digital receipt with a QR code, which can be presented to the immigration and custom officers upon arrival or departure.
Minister Alexander noted, however, that the paper-based forms will not be completely phased out.
Just like in any other system, just in case that we have any issues, we'll keep some forms available in case we have to return to those forms for a short time to fix any glitch that it may have. Because everything new sometimes starts off sometimes very rocky, and we intend to treat that like that.
Minister of Public Administration and Artificial Intelligence Dominic Smith said the platform was a priority of the government.
I remember distinctly 2 weeks into office, the minister and I sat and we said, in his typical fashion, Minister, what do we do about this thing, right? This online travel thing. And I remember we set up a joint committee with several of the stakeholders involved here, including CARICOM Impacts, and a number of stakeholders from immigration, from the Customs Division, permanent secretaries, deputy permanent secretaries. And at that meeting, we decided what is the impediment? What is the challenge with this, what can be seen as a rudimentary adjustment?
Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Homeland Security, Dr. Wilson Henderson Jr. said personnel will be stationed at the airport to assist passengers in navigating the system.
Alexander announced that the online platform will become accessible to the public on March 14, while the traditional paper-based arrival and departure card will be fully eliminated by March 17th. Listen to this.
Ministry of Homeland Security is pleased to announce the implementation of the Trinidad and Tobago online arrival and departure card platform, which forms part of the government's ongoing efforts to modernize our border management system. The system will be fully implemented on the 17th of March. Again, on the 17th of March, at which point the traditional paper-based arrival and departure cards will be discontinued. However, beginning on the 14th of March, a couple of days from now, 2026, travelers will be able to access the platform online and complete the arrival and departure information before traveling. So on the 14th of this month, persons can gain access to the platform.
Welcome to the new Trinidad and Tobago online arrival and departure card platform. All passengers arriving in and departing Trinidad and Tobago via air or sea will be required to complete and submit an online arrival and departure form. This highly anticipated platform will soon modernize travel for visitors and returning nationals, allowing for the creation and completion of both arrival and departure forms online. Simply follow the steps on the website, submit all required information, and save your receipt. Using the new Trinidad and Tobago arrival and departure card platform is quick, simple, and convenient, and will enhance the travel experience by improving the ease with which passengers transit through our air and seaports. All passengers must complete the online immigration and customs form. You will have access to the portal 72 hours before your arrival or departure. You must save the immigration and customs receipt after completion. You will receive a confirmation email containing your receipt. print or download the receipt to your device. Using the online arrival departure form greatly enhances your travel experience and provides you the convenience of smoothly transiting our ports. Each passenger must have the following: valid email address, flight information, valid passport, copy of passport biodata page in JPEG or PNG.
We'll be right back.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Connect with us on social media and don't miss the latest updates. Follow us on Instagram at RealTalk_Newsroom. Check us out on Facebook at Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Real Talk Trinidad and TikTok at Real Talk with Saieed Ali.
Welcome to Real Talk Financing and Investment, a place where your loans are guaranteed and you're rewarded with up to 5% upfront interest on your deposit. Why wait when you can invest with us today and reap the benefits? Speak with a representative at our central branch at 238-6716, 231-6219, or 339-1670, or our south branch at 242-9944, 241-0543, or 339-1670. Real Talk Financing and Investment. Investment company just for you, for you, for you, for you.
Welcome back.
So viewers, the Mayor of Lord Hill, Dennis Grant, has honored Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar by officially proclaiming March 8, 2026 as the Honorable Kamala Persad-Bissessar SCMP and Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. The proclamation was presented to Persad-Bissessar during a diaspora event held on Sunday at Joyce Roti Shop in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. According to the proclamation issued by Grant and supported by Vice Mayor Richard Campbell, the honors recognize Persad-Bissessar's leadership and contribution to Trinidad and Tobago, as well as an influence across a wider Caribbean community
The city has officially honored Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Lauderhill Mayor Denise D. Grant proclaimed March 8, 2026 as the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar Day. The recognition took place during International Women's Day events in South Florida. Mayor Grant made history in 2024 as the first Black woman to lead the city. She highlighted the Prime Minister's historic legacy as a female leader in the region. Lauderhill is a major hub for the Trinidad and Tobago diaspora. Over 30% of the city's residents claim West Indian heritage. Prime Minister Persad-Bissessar thanked the city on social media, calling the South Florida diaspora vital partners in national development. The proclamation is meant to celebrate the deep cultural ties between Lauderhill and our Twin Islands Republic. It also recognizes the Prime Minister's ongoing work with the international community.
You here, and of course, our guest of honor, the Prime Minister of the great Trinidad and Tobago. Yes! We are overly excited, and of course, I'll go in depth a bit more in terms of our excitement for Madam Prime Minister being here. But at this time, I would like to acknowledge, of course, all of the elected officials that are here, my colleagues. I do see that our former Broward County Mayor, Mr. Dale Holness, is here, who has a long-lasting relationship, of course, with the Trinidad and Tobago diaspora. Thank you so much, sir, for being here. In addition to that, I see from the city of Lauderdale Lakes, which is a sister city, I see Commissioner Easton Harrison. Please give him a wonderful welcome. And my colleagues from the city of Lauderhill, in the absence of our Vice Mayor Richard Campbell, I will say thank you so much for being here, and as well as Melissa P. Dunn, who is also not here. But we do have Commissioners Saray Martin. Yes.
So we want to congratulate her viewers on receiving that proclamation in Florida, and congratulations to those who went with her to make it a success also.
We'll be right back.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Connect with us on social media and don't miss the latest updates. Follow us on Instagram at RealTalk_Newsroom. Check us out on Facebook at Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Real Talk Trinidad and TikTok at Real Talk with Saieed Ali.
Welcome to Real Talk Financing and Investment, a place where your loans are guaranteed and you're rewarded with up to 5% upfront interest on your deposit. Why wait when you can invest with us today and reap the benefits? speak with a representative at our central branch at 238-6716, 231-6219, or 339-1670, or our south branch at 242-9944, 241-0543, or 339-1670. Real Talk Financing and Investment. Investment company just for you, for you, for you, for you.
Welcome back.
So viewers, the Law Revision Amendment Bill 2026 was unanimously approved in the Senate on Tuesday, with all 30 members voting in favor. This means the accessing the laws of Trinidad and Tobago could soon become easier and more modern, while legislation can be accessed online. Those versions are not considered legal authoritative. Now, Minister of Land and Legal Affairs, Saddam Hussein, explained that the largest bound volume are presented and recognized, or presently recognized as official versions of the law. Now, he said, the Law Revision Amendment Bill 2026 will change that, allowing verified digital copy to carry the same legal weight. Listen to this.
However, we are now in a digital age, and the way citizens, businesses, legal practitioners, courts, public institutions access the law has significantly evolved. Online platforms provide the average citizen with free access to timely information at their fingertips. Today, for the first and often only port of call for anyone seeking to know the law is the internet. We are just going to make the laws of Trinidad and Tobago be made available online as official versions of the law. Mr. President, I could say that and take my seat, and I know I can get the support of this House. Currently, all of us, Mr. President, we go online, we download the versions of the law that are available online, but Mr. President, they are not the official versions of the law.
The bill seeks to make online versions of the country's law officially recognized, replacing the long-standing reliance on printed volumes. Hussein added that the move will save taxpayers millions of dollars.
These binders are expensive. The paper is expensive. And Mr. President, when I went into the Law Revision Commission, I asked them, I started to inquire about this particular process. We make our laws locally. The Parliament, this is the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. But do you know our laws are printed abroad? Our laws are not printed locally. Our laws are printed abroad.
The Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister, Darrell Allaha, also stressed the importance of the bill, noting that outdated online legislation can deter foreign investors. Listen to this.
Because when investors come here and they can't get a clear view of the law, it undermines confidence in our legal system, Mr. President. And for 10 years, somebody on the outside looking in would wonder, we can't get a straight answer as to what the law is here. We have to go through all of these hoops and all of these hurdles to get an answer as to what the law is.
In other news, the government has not disclosed the specific outcome of Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessa's meeting with officials from the United States Southern Command earlier this week.
So are you saying we are at the mercy of the US?
We are not at the mercy of anyone except the good Lord. We can say no, we can say yes, but we are operating within the law.
But the Prime Minister did say that the SOFA arrangement is working well for this country in some areas. Then the Prime Minister said something about the radar in Tobago that we heard for the first time.
You know, they're paying $3 million a day for that radar. Not us. They are paying that. Therefore, they kept some of their military personnel there to ensure that the radar would be safe, it would be able to continue working, it would not be sabotaged.
Kamla Prasad-Bissessar said that fee is not paid to this country and later clarified that the $3 million per day is the operating cost the US incurs for salaries for the people manning the equipment, accommodation for them in Tobago, and for the radar's upkeep. That means in the 93 days since the radar was first publicly detected to now, the US, using the PM's figures, would have spent around $279 million so far on the Tobago radar. The Prime Minister could not say how many US military personnel are currently in the country, only that some are leaving in March. But what Prasad-Bissessar did know for sure is that these American military people will not have authority over citizens here.
No, you mean to lock up TTP? No. Whatever they may, from their intelligence that they may gather, my understanding and what I've been told is that they will advise the TTPS, who will then pursue. There was a drug bust not too long ago. It was their intelligence that allowed our TTPS to go in. So they can't come and arrest you unless if you coffin them down or something.
The PM doubled down, saying she has no regrets for entering into this partnership with the US military, saying that and the states of emergencies kept the murder rate low. Now, Opposition Leader Penelope Beckles weighed in.
Well, if the Prime Minister says maybe or maybe not, that's very interesting.
Beckles challenged the PM's belief that the US partnership led to a safer Trinidad and Tobago.
If you look at the figure today, the figures suggest that for this month you had more than last month around the same time. So I don't see that has tamed. And I mean, we are not aware as to exactly what is the role the United States is playing at this time as it relates to crime intervention.
However, the Defense Minister, Wayne Sturge, in praising the Prime Minister for her efforts to boost the country's national security apparatus, blamed the previous government, closer ties to Venezuela for the degrading of the country's security capacity.
I can say thanks again to President Trump, and thanks again to Secretary Marco Rubio. I thank them and the U.S. military for the cooperation and what they shared with us for national security matters. Maybe in your islands you don't have the kind of crime we have. I know Prime Minister Housen, as we tried to pass the Oswald bill in Trinidad, we were not as fortunate as you in the Parliament, but I know you have done well with your murder rate. So some of us, the crime is so bad, I cannot depend on just my military, my protective services, and certainly from you in the CARICOM, many of you do not have military or large police services to help us down there. So again, I repeat, you know, Trinidadians are saying, who vexed lost? But we gained from the help, I'm saying, that military help, and I will welcome them again. So we changed the policy, and we were able to bring those murders down by 42%. As I said, that's 257 less people who would have been dead had we not taken that course of action. So let me finally take this opportunity to sympathize with the government and people of Mexico, as Prime Minister Holness mentioned, with regards to the cartel-fueled mass violence happening there. That could have been Trinidad and Tobago if we did not take the action we did. To partner with the U.S. is not to undermine the Caribbean region, but to defend it. TNT will continue to cooperate with the U.S. in the best interests of our citizens to drive destabilizing and destructive forces out of our country, out of our region, and out of our hemisphere.
We'll be right back.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on a roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Connect with us on social media and don't miss the latest updates. Follow us on Instagram at RealTalk_Newsroom. Check us out on Facebook at Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Real Talk Trinidad and TikTok at Real Talk with Saieed Ali.
Welcome to Real Talk Financing and Investment, a place where your loans are guaranteed and you're rewarded with up to 5% upfront interest on your deposit. Why wait when you can invest with us today and reap the benefits? Speak with a representative at our central branch at 238-6716, 231-6219, or 339-1670, or our south branch at 242-9944, 241-0543, or 339-1670. Real Talk Financing and Investment. Investment company just for you, for you, for you, for you.
Welcome back.
Sources stated that a recent discussion has activated the second phase of the administration crime suppression strategies, shifting focus to tackling criminal activity on the ground. Prime Minister stated that several projects have identified for implementation, but no further details were provided. Listen to this.
What is expected of a national leader is that the Prime Minister would engage with the population, engage with the media, and present the benefits, the details and the benefits to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. She also has the opportunity in the Parliament to make a comprehensive statement that can be then questioned and interrogated.
So Trinidad and Tobago, former Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Amy Brown wants government to be more transparent on this matter. Now, Opposition Senator Faraz Al-Rawi have also stated that TNT engagement with the U.S. Southcom is nothing new. But what is new is the government's use of the back-to-back SOE as a crime-fighting plan.
5 weeks ago, as the country emerged from a state of emergency, the Honorable Prime Minister expressed her resolve and that of her government to continue to monitor the activities of the criminal gangs in Trinidad and Tobago. She said then that she would not hesitate if the need arose to use all powers at her disposal to quell any upsurge in gang activity. Last night, upon learning of threatened further violent actions and planned reprisal killings by gang members, the Prime Minister triggered the provisions of the Constitution and asked Her Excellency the President to declare a state of emergency in Trinidad and Tobago. The proclamation was signed by Her Excellency, and a state of emergency came into effect at 12:01 this morning. This government has demonstrated a clear, decisive, zero-tolerance approach to gang-related crime. Upon learning of a threat to state actors and facilities emanating from within the prisons, the government declared a state of public emergency in July of 2025. That state of emergency was extended by the Parliament in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution and ended on January the 31st, 2026. During that period of time, July 2025 to January 2026, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service and the Defense Force conducted a number of operations and isolated certain gang leaders from the gangs and enterprises that they control. The threat was eliminated, and significant headway in dismantling the organized criminal networks which have terrorized our population for over a decade, murdering members of the population and other citizens in cold blood and perpetrating heinous, despicable, violent crimes across the length and breadth of Trinidad and Tobago. The murder rate and number of serious crimes dropped precipitously to the lowest recorded numbers in years, owing in no small measure to the diligent intelligence-led efforts of the TTPS and the armed forces. The government, during that time and afterwards, sought to enact legislation that would allow the country to continue along this trajectory. The trajectory of drastically curbing crime and criminal activity by, in part, uprooting and permanently dismantling the gangs that were allowed to grow in power, reach, and wealth unchecked for the decade preceding our tenure. We were successful in some of these legislative efforts, but unfortunately unsuccessful in others. As the Prime Minister stated earlier this morning, the National Security Council met and was given a briefing by the Commissioner of Police last night. The Council was advised that over the last several days, a number of violent criminal activities have taken place in the full gaze of a horrified population, I might add, most of which have been carried out by members of organized criminal gangs. We were further advised that criminal gangs had increased acts of violence on a scale so extensive that they have resulted in multiple deaths, in mass shootings, and that that pattern of behavior was set to continue. The Prime Minister and the National Security Council had no choice. We immediately determined to advise Her Excellency, as I have said, that a state of public emergency existed in Trinidad and Tobago. This government is determined to never allow this country to deteriorate into the state of chaos and bloodshed which we met in May of 2025 when we took office. We shall never accept the slow, dangerous surrender to the criminal gangs in our midst. There are examples in the region of territories that have allowed that. Trinidad and Tobago's fate will be different. Under the conditions of the state of emergency, the TTPS and the armed forces will be able to do what they are entrusted by law to do in a manner that would match the escalating danger that is being posed to all of us as law-abiding citizens and to the very rule of law in Trinidad and Tobago. From the very early hours of this morning, strategic operations have commenced by the protective services. These will continue in an intelligence-led, targeted, and deliberate manner until these threats to public safety are eliminated. We take this initial approach while concurrently putting various other measures in place that would constitute a longer-term, sustainable approach to maintaining order, peace, and safety in our society. We will continue to inform the public of various initiatives and operations taking place during this state of emergency as appropriate.
As another state of emergency comes into effect, the opposition is raising a major red flag over Section 11 of the Emergency Powers Regulations, warning that the state is now policing public opinion under the guise of safety.
No person shall endeavor, whether orally or otherwise, to influence public opinion in a manner likely to be prejudicial to public safety, do any act or have any article in his possession with a view to making or facilitating the making of any such endeavor.
In the opposition's view, the law which criminalizes any publication, including social media posts, is the government's attempt to silence anyone that criticizes them. Opposition leader Penelope Beckles says this directly erodes freedom of expression.
This government really is not practicing democracy. This government is all about dictatorship. This government is all about abuse of power. And this government is all about ensuring that freedom of expression no longer exists in Trinidad and Tobago. This is what this SOE is all about.
Under the last SOE, the government executed 3 preventative detention orders for social media posts deemed threatening or illegal. Beckles also slammed the Prime Minister's justification for another SOE as ambiguous, given her recent statements on crime reduction.
So you have January, that the reduction has nothing to do with the SOE, it has to do with the police. Then you have the Prime Minister going to CARICOM and indicating you have a reduction by 42%.
If the government wants to truly address the crime situation, it must do so through strong legislation, which he notes requires parliamentary support. Listen to Faris.
When you're passing simple majority laws, it means that the severe mechanisms that you can use with a special majority are not included. I believe that you need to go to court with evidence. Catch and release is not evidence. You're catching it for 5 days, for 3 months, you're sending it to him, it's going to come back. That when I was Attorney General and when our government was in effect, the UNC did not support anything to deal with getting evidence for criminal courts. They did not support witness protection. They did not support whistleblowing laws. They did not support operations for undercover agencies. They did not support follow your money into tax and criminality. They did not support the Revenue Authority, where you would find unexplained wealth.
So Trinidad and Tobago, Amy Brown is saying the government needs to be more transparent with the meeting. What is the do's, what is the don'ts, what is the action, how much is it going to cost Trinidad and Tobago, what are they going to put in place, is more army coming, is more technology coming, what to expect. Are we going to have ships around Trinidad and Tobago? What to expect from this meeting? We need more, according to Amy Brown. Faris is saying, if you want to fix the crime, nothing wrong. But go to Parliament, bring out stricter legislations, let's deal with it more firmly. So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break.
We'll be right back.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Connect with us on social media and don't miss the latest updates. Follow us on Instagram at RealTalk_Newsroom. Check us out on Facebook at Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Real Talk Trinidad and TikTok at Real Talk with Saieed Ali.
Welcome to Real Talk Financing and Investment, a place where your loans are guaranteed and you're rewarded with up to 5% upfront interest on your deposit. Why wait when you can invest with us today and reap the benefits? Speak with a representative at our central branch at 238-6716, 231-6219, or 339-1670, or our south branch at 242-9944, 241-0543, or 339-1670. Real Talk Financing and Investment. Investment company just for you, for you, for you, for you.
Welcome back.
وأثر باق لا يذهب ونهر جار لا ينضب ومداد من رب الكون ملجأنا في زمن مرعب.
You guide me from darkness to the light, always by my side in the lonely night. You help me know what's wrong and right, quenching my thirst, healing my heart. هو منهاج فيه سكينة وخطاب الرحمن إلينا، نور الله تعالى فيه فهو يقين جاء يقينا.
So many proofs, so many signs
in every word and every line,
for every race and every time, if only we opened our hearts. هو المعين إذا ما اشتدت الدنيا،
وهو السبيل إذا جفت منابعنا،
هو المغيث
هو الهدى
إذا تاهت مداركنا.
قرآن قرآن
يا رحمة رحمن،
يا فيض المنان
لكل بني الإنسان.
قرآن قرآن يا رحمة رحمن، يا فيض المنان لكل بني الإنسان.
قرآن قرآن يا رحمة
رحمن. Viewers, we're out of time for tonight. We'll be back here Thursday night for another live show. Real Talk with Saieed. Until then, good night.